Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories. And if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. And let's crack on with today's first story. Much love guys. Now today's first story comes from FD Sprinkles 5723 from the Relationship Advice subreddit and says, I 32 female think my husband's 40 male mistress is stalking me. We're currently separated after I found out he's been having an affair with the same person for years. I first found out 5 years ago and we worked things out. He swore he'd ended things with her and I believed him. We had our last child, 4 male, during that period. Since the year started, I've been getting messages on Facebook and Instagram from accounts with no followers telling me my husband was having an affair. The DMs had details about the trips he had taken with her, how they go on dates, have a child together, and all his friends, mum, and siblings knew her. I asked him often if he was still seeing her, and he denied it. What pushed me over the edge was when I saw earrings and a scrunchie that weren't mine in my car after he borrowed it for a day. I went through his phone and saw that he was still with her. They even had sex tapes and he was constantly telling her how much better sex was with her, how he loved her and wanted to be with her. It's obvious he's got very strong feelings for her. He admitted to everything, including the child they have together. I left the house and went to my mum's to take a break. We've been officially separated for a month. The problem now is that his mistress keeps showing up to places I go to often. The playground I take the kids to, the bookshop where I buy their school supplies, where I take the girls to get their hair done. We went to get ice cream once and I could have sworn I saw her. I know what she looks like from the pictures and videos they have together. I feel like I'm going crazy. These are all public places, so there's nothing I can do about it. She just sits there and stares at us. It's making me very uneasy. What is the best way to address this situation? I can't ask her for to be kicked out of a public space. She's always with her daughter anyway, so it never looks weird that a woman and her child are at the same place I go to with my kids. I'm not speaking to my husband unless it's about the kids and don't want to ask him yet. The first commenter says to OP, you don't need relationship advice, you need legal advice. Start with a divorce and then discuss the stalking. Have everything written down, time of day, date, where, were your kids with you, all of it, and stay off social media. About to go to X salon with the kids or whatever. The attorney can advise you on the possibility of TRO. Talk to an attorney immediately. OP replies saying I don't post on social media. My last post was from 2019. Commenter says you should make a police report. OP says I can't easily get a police report since she's not trespassing. They're all public spaces. Sweet says, is it possible she planted an AirTag in your car? OP says I doubt it, my phone would have picked up on it. Little Dog Lover says totally on your side here, but I'm just thinking, these were her spots and your husband was taking your kids to meet her there. Could she be thinking or feeling the same way you are? Like, wow, this lady is obsessed with me, she keeps showing up where I am. Because technically, your husband piggybacked off her spots and shuffled them onto you without informing you she would likely be there because it's her routine, not his. It could be a little bit of both due to the DMs, but honestly, I'm thinking she's just doing her normal outings and you started showing up. Perhaps now she's more intentionally going just to see if you'll be there. I don't know, this is a crazy situation. Best revenge is happiness. The marriage is over. I'd focus on getting out and your own happiness. Start going to different places and building up different friendships. Opie says that might have initially been the case, but now that she's intentionally switched up her routine, it's no longer a coincidence. And there was loads of people just suggesting to OP to check your car and stuff for tracking devices or something like that because it's absolutely wild and terrifying at the same time. But OP did update the post and says thank you for all your advice. I confronted my husband about it. He said she's not showing up places I go to. I'm the one going to places she frequents. My husband used to be the one who took the kids out on weekends since he's virtually never at home on weekdays. I do school pickup and drop off and he does the fun stuff. All the places he used to take the kids to, which I'm doing now since they're with me, was suggested by her. That's where she buys her books. The playground is where she used to take her nieces and nephews before their daughters were born. She recommended the salon to him since my daughters and her have the same hair texture. He says she used to go to the salon on Sundays after church, but only recently switched it up to Saturdays when I take the girls. The ice cream place is apparently her favorite. So yeah, My dick of a husband had been taking our kids to his mistress's favorite spots. My kids already love going to all those places, and finding a salon that caters to our daughter's hair needs close to us will be difficult. He didn't show any remorse telling me about it, and reminding me that it's a public space, and she hasn't committed any crime. I'm just going to have to find better alternatives. Commenter says to OP, so if he is telling the truth and not covering for her, the son of a bitch was seeing her in these places too, with your kids. Start looking for alternate spots. OP says my kids said he didn't introduce anyone to them. They're the chattiest kids and would have mentioned it. I think she just gave him ideas on where to take them since she used to babysit for her nieces and nephews. Another one says, talk to a lawyer and file for child support now while you're still navigating the legal side of separation. You can have a temp child support order in place while you navigate the rest. In the US, whichever mum files first will get the largest contribution of his income for child support. If she files first, you get a higher percentage than you, despite your children being older and products of the marriage. Also find new places to go. Find a new salon. Take the girls on an adventure to find new places that are not tainted by him and her. Give her 100% less headspace. She's an idiot for standing with a married man. You deserve better. OP says I'm not in the US, but I'm working on putting together everything for a lawyer. Commodore says, the fact she was anonymously messaging you before everything came out makes us feel a lot less accidental. Maybe some of the sightings are coincidence, but constantly showing up at places connected to you and your kids would make anyone feel unsettled. Honestly, the bigger problem is that your husband allowed this whole situation to become so tangled and invasive for years. OP says, maybe she got tired of waiting for our marriage to end and decided to tell me. There's no way of knowing if it was actually her or not. Commodore says, turn off location sharing if you're using it. Kids' devices too. Check around your car for a GPS monitor. OP says the kids don't have any devices and we never share our location. Turns out she knows where I go with the kids thanks to my husband. That husband is a complete and utter arsehole and so crazy. Imagine finding out that for years your husband was taking your kids to the playground, the bookshop, all these other places that were recommendations from his mistress, and acting like you're the unreasonable one for feeling unsettled or weird about it when she keeps appearing there. And one of his responses to all this is a public place she hasn't committed a crime. It's just like such a cold, dismissive way to respond to a wife that he's betrayed. Absolute psycho behavior. I really do hope that OP takes some of the advice in the comments, getting child support and all that sort of thing locked down pretty quickly. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let's move on to another story. Our next story comes from Could Be Me, but no, from the Am I the Arsehole Here subreddit. And it says, am I the arsehole here for wanting to tell my brother that his girlfriend has been involved with our sister? I'm 24 female and genuinely don't know what to do. My brother, 28 male, has been with his girlfriend, 25 female, for 3 years. They live together and everyone assumes they'll get engaged soon. About 2 months ago, I was at my sister's, 26 female, flat while she was out walking her dog. Earlier, we'd been looking through old family photo albums and she took photos of some of them for me on her phone. She told me to airdrop them to myself while she was out. While scrolling through her camera roll, I came across screenshots of messages between her and my brother's girlfriend. At first, I didn't think much of it because they've always been close, but one of them felt weirdly flirty. I know I shouldn't have, but I looked more after that because I got a bad feeling, and then I found 2 explicit pictures of them together. One was from around 8 months ago, and one was from 2 months ago. As far as I know, both of them are straight, which honestly made the whole thing even more confusing. I kept looking after that, and there were loads more screenshots between them. Mostly normal stuff, memes, etc., but mixed in with messages like, miss you already, and wish you were here. Neither of them know that I know, and haven't told anybody, but now every time we're all together, I feel sick because my brother has absolutely no clue. He talks about marrying her constantly. What's making me question everything is that technically, I found this by looking through my sister's phone. I wasn't snooping originally, but I definitely crossed a line once I kept looking. Part of me is also scared I somehow misunderstood something, but I know for a fact that the photos were explicit. If I tell him, it'd completely destroy my family, but if I stay quiet, I feel like I'm helping them lie to him. Also, part of me is genuinely paranoid my brother somehow already knows, and this is some weird arrangement or something, in which case I'm an awful person for snooping. But even if that was the case, that's weird and I'm uncomfortable. Now, OP's in one of those tricky situations where, if they say nothing and eventually when it does come out and it finds out that OP knew, that relationship is going to be destroyed anyway. But I think OP should be telling brother anyway because it's the right thing to do. He's the only one that seems to be in the dark in this situation. The reality is the snooping is already done. OP can't unsnoop. The question is whether she actually lets her brother continue planning a future, engagement, marriage, kids, whatever's going to happen in their future, or she's sitting on information that could completely change his decisions. And I mean, you don't even have to mention cheating. You can just give him the information and allow him to decide what to do with it. Something simple like, I was looking for the photos my sister told me to airdrop. I saw something that looked off and I looked further and I found explicit photos and messages. Simple as that, then he can decide what to do with that. A commenter says, okay, so not the arsehole, but hear me out. Ask your sister first. You say there are intimate pics of them together. If they're not selfies, someone had to take those pictures. And I'm sorry, but your brother being in the cuck chair while your sister actually gets his girlfriend off is the funniest possible option. If you can get both of them in a call or messenger or something and address it with the both of them at once, that would probably be ideal. Side note, your sister can just send the photos to a cloud service and delete them from your phone. And then you're the crazy one that has the weird fantasies about your siblings. Opie says, holy shit, you're right. Someone did take one of the photos. This is insane. Oh, bloody hell. Few Picture says, not the arsehole, but you would be the arsehole if you don't tell your brother. He needs to know that his girlfriend has cheated on him. He needs to know that your sister has betrayed his trust. He also needs to get tested for STIs and to be able to make an informed decision about his relationship. If you do not tell him and he finds out you knew, you're likely to lose his trust as well. A friend to all is a friend to none. Venus Replies says this 1000%. If my sibling knew my partner was sleeping with our other sibling and didn't tell me, I'd cut them both off forever. Like, the family is already destroyed. The brother just doesn't know it yet. Situation says, OP, talk to your brother. Don't say cheating. Explain that you saw explicit photos. Let him draw his own conclusions. This is important. Then the next move is his. But yes, he needs to know and make an informed decision. Not the arsehole. So OP does come in to update the post and says, update, I finally spoke to them and now I'm even more confused and kind of revolted. Oh, bloody hell, here we go. First thing, I know for a fact that one of the photos wasn't a selfie. You could literally see part of someone's leg in the corner and the angle would have been weird for a tripod. A lot of comments pointed that out and it probably got into my head. I confronted my sister yesterday morning and she denied everything immediately. She kept insisting it wasn't my brother's girlfriend in the photos, even though I know it was. She also admitted she likes women, which I obviously don't care about at all, but she still kept denying it was specifically my brother's girlfriend. I then went to my brother's and spoke to him since she wouldn't tell me the truth. At first he acted shocked and I honestly thought I'd just ruined his life, but halfway through the conversation his whole attitude changed and he started saying stuff like, you don't understand the full picture, and it's not cheating, it's just a thing. I asked him directly if he already knew and was a part of it, and he basically just said, we don't need to talk about that. Now, I honestly think my brother already knew something was going on. Maybe there's some kind of arrangement between them. I genuinely don't know anymore. The more I think about it, the three of them have always been very close, and now I'm wondering if this has been going on for way longer than I realized. I almost wish I never found out any of this because now the whole situation just feels insane. I think I'm just going to separate myself from this whole thing as I'm really uncomfortable. Oh, bloody hell. I really wished it wasn't going down that path. And I really haven't got much more to add on that. But what do you guys make of that? Bloody hell. Let's move on to another story pretty rapidly. Now our next story comes from Grouchy Jacket 5570. It says, am I the arsehole for telling my sister she wasn't the only one affected by our mum's death and let our dad live his life? Hi. I said something meaning well, but even my dad, whom I said it for, thinks I went too far. So I'd like to have an unbiased opinion. My mum passed away almost 5 years ago. I was 24 at the time. My sister was 17. She's always been treated as the baby of the family by all of us, and she did take our mum's passing very hard. According to my dad, she'd have night terrors and he would go downstairs to get her water. She stayed with him for the first year of her college before moving out. A couple of years ago, my dad started dating someone, and when he told us, my sister went ballistic, full on sobbing and begging him not to. The strain led to him breaking it off. Same story repeated once more after that. My dad told me she was young and still coming to terms with it, so he wouldn't take it anything too far. Since last year, he's been dating another woman who has 2 young boys of her own. My dad seems to really enjoy her company. We've met her a few times and honestly, I love my dad and want him to be happy. He's a great guy and she seems to make him so. When he told us he wanted to have us all spend Christmas together, my sister again had an argument, said that Christmas with him was supposed to be her safe space. We had memories of us as a family with Mum and asked him to hold off. He said yes, and I knew he would because of course he wasn't going to risk her not coming. Meanwhile, when talking to me, my sister has been asking me repeatedly if I think Dad is going to marry this woman. I said I don't know, but if he wants to, then I hope he does. Last weekend on the family group chat, my sister talked about moving stuff back to his place. That's when I learned that she was planning on moving back after she graduates in May, and my dad had agreed. I was so annoyed. She's pulling the same thing. This is clearly to monopolize his attention and not let his relationship with his girlfriend proceed further. I said as much in the group chat. She said she just wants to move back to be with Dad and in the house where we have Mum's memories. At this, I told her to stop weaponizing our Mum's death and pretending like she was the only one affected and that the rest of her loved us less just because we want to look past the grief. That she was being manipulative in moving back when she had no plans prior to learning about his girlfriend. My dad kept texting me to shut up. My sister left the group chat. She sent me a long text chain essentially calling me an arsehole and that a relationship with Dad is her own. My dad says I crossed the line and should make up with her. Am I the arsehole? Him taking her side is what's hurting me the most. Update. Thank you for your comments. I spoke to my dad this morning and brought up that she is still in grief and it'd be kind to her if we suggest therapy. My dad seemed on the fence about it. He said I should go ahead and suggest it to her if I want, but he's concerned if he says it, she'll feel attacked and think she's a problem, as per him. So, I don't know. I don't know how receptive my sister would be at this moment to what I say after what happened. I'll see. I'll try talking to her when she's more receptive. Also, I appreciate the comment saying the lecture I gave should have come from my dad, not me. My dad once drove 2 hours at night to give her a portable heater because the thermostat in her apartment was acting out and he couldn't have her wait till the morning for maintenance. The lecture wouldn't have come from him. It's why I said it. Look, whenever we cover stories with grief, I always say you grieve however you want, as long as it's in a healthy way and you're looking after yourself, etc. This isn't that for me. I get it, losing a parent at 17 is going to be devastating. It was when my parents passed away, it still is to this day, and it still hurts. But in this, we're not talking about someone quietly keeping their memories alive or struggling on anniversaries or something like that. We're talking about someone whose response to a dad dating is to cry until the relationships end. Demand that the Christmas remain as nothing, just them, in time, because that's how it was and he shouldn't be moving on without Mum, etc. And now move back home just as his most serious relationship starts progressing. That's not good at all. And it's just not sustainable forever. I mean, what's the long-term plan here? That Dad stays single until he dies so his daughter never has to confront the reality here, that life does move on. And does she really not want to see her dad be happy again? There needs to be some kind of therapy or something here to help her understand, because this is going to be a sad future if this carries on like this. A commenter says, not the arsehole. Your family should seek professional help in my opinion. She's still grieving the loss of your mother and she's not letting your family move on in a healthy manner. Commenter says, this isn't grief, this is abuse and control. Starry says, not the arsehole. Your sister needs major therapy and your dad needs to stop enabling her. 13 Surgery says, your sister seems to be trying to keep your mother alive by freezing the house and your dad the way they were when your mum was alive. In her mind, moving on equals killing your mum. That's understandable when the grief is still new and raw, but it's not healthy 5 years later. Talk to your father about this. Maybe a condition of her staying with him for a limited period of time could be that she has to get therapy, and you or your dad should be there for the first session to ensure the unbiased truth is established. She must not move in unless and until she starts this therapy. She's guilting your dad and ruining his chances for happiness, and him allowing it isn't good for her, not the arsehole. Another commenter says you're the arsehole. Attacking her like this, no matter how warranted the attack is, in the family group chat for everyone to see is really a-holy. You should have talked to her privately. Try and talk some sense into her, because I agree with you. Your dad deserves his own life and has kind of given up on that by not being able to tell your sister no. Suggest therapy. If she's really not getting over your mother's passing, my condolences by the way, maybe that can help. Opie says thank you. I just wanted to clarify it was an immediate family group chat, just the 3 of us, not an extended family one. Another one says, everyone sucks here. You and your sister both need therapy. Her for grief and you for thinly veiled jealousy and anger at your sister. This is not a condemnation. I personally believe that most everyone could benefit from therapy. We live in fucked up times and no one makes it into adulthood unscathed. Hope you reply saying thank you for your comment. I just want to say I'm not jealous of her if it came across that way. She's my baby sister. I love her to bits. I just think she's in the wrong here and has been for a while. That's why I said it. It was 4 months later that OP came in with an update and said hi. I thought I'd give an update since I'd taken some advice from Reddit last time. I saw my sister the next time when she was home for a spring break and I'd also gone to visit. She'd already moved some of her stuff back then. She'd gone out to eat with Dad, but when we were back and alone, I had asked how it had gone when my dad's girlfriend had visited. She said she was over once and like that was it. I'd asked how my dad's girlfriend felt about her planning on moving back. She said it didn't come up and basically said she was moving back to her house. Why would his girlfriend care? Which to me seemed crazy, like of course she'd have some thoughts about that. She spends time here, has stayed over here, her sons have visited. I took stock of the feedback last time, was gentle and understanding and just said that I was sorry I wasn't here more in the 3 months after Mum's passing. We never really fully got the chance to grieve and suggested therapy. She was offended that I asked if I was implying she was crazy and was just like she's moving back home, what's the big deal? When I spoke to my dad in passing, he had mentioned he hadn't gotten a chance to tell his girlfriend yet because it was still in flux, that my sister's plan weren't certain yet and seemed like he thought it wouldn't be a problem. We met again for Easter at my dad's place. His girlfriend and her 2 sons had also come. I don't recall if she said hi to them, but she maybe spoke like a sentence to them that entire time. Just spoke to me and Dad, and he was caught between entertaining her versus his girlfriend and her kids. I tried to make them, especially the boys, feel comfortable. I even went to my sister and said that this looks really rude. This is not how we do things, and just said we have no common interests. What do you want me to talk about? I'd gotten the advice that at some point, while I love my dad and sister, it's time to step back. I didn't push anyone, but really thought my dad would see that this was a precursor to what it would be like. I don't know if he didn't recognize that, or maybe he did but doesn't want to do anything about it. But either way, my sister has moved back. The job that she's starting is work from home too, or I think she has to go in occasionally, for which she makes sure the 1 hour drive she said. But she has moved back. I have no idea what her plan was if she had gotten her job somewhere else and had to go in, but it seemed to have worked out for her. I haven't gotten the chance to visit since. I'm going to visit them on Monday, but I just reminded myself what I was told, that it is their relationship and it's my dad's call at the end of the day. Oh, I hear OP when she said she's stepping back in this situation, especially for herself, because she said her piece. She's tried approaching things in different ways. She suggested therapy and she pointed out the issues that she was seeing. What else much can she do at the end of this? She's tried pointing it out to Dad as well, and in the end, like the commenters were clearly saying to OP at some point, that Dad's an adult making his own choices, even if you think they're bad ones. And I think OP recognizing that and stepping back instead of getting dragged into every single conflict that happens is probably the most mature thing anyone's done in this story, right? Don't get me wrong, I do feel for the dad because he clearly just loves his daughter and is doing everything he can for her, but we can all see it's unhealthy and not going to end well if he carries on doing so. But I do feel sorry for him at the same time because he does deserve happiness. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And just a huge thank you for being here today, getting involved in the stories, your love, your support, your time. It always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much for being here. Truly, it's absolutely amazing. And I will see you in the next one. Take care and much love.